My name is Brian Rudy. I live here in Greeley, Colorado. I have a beautiful wife named Samantha and two young boys, James and Landon, twins. I own 3 Jimmy John's restaurants and a 4th restaurant soon to be open called Los Ponchos.
I moved to Greeley a long time ago to work at the University of Northern Colorado.
Before cancer, I was a real energetic guy, loved being outdoors, liked going to work, loved spending time with my kids and teaching them new things.
The 5th year that I was here, I met Pete Morrell. He was city manager, and we really hit it off. After dating for almost 10 years, we were engaged to be married, and about 3 months before the wedding, I discovered a lump in my breast. We had a mastectomy and 6 months of chemotherapy, 7 weeks of daily radiation, then hormone therapy. And Pete was a trooper. He was there every step of the way.
Family and I were on a vacation down to Scottsdale, Arizona for spring training baseball. And on the way down there, I started feeling a pain in my lower left side to the point where I went into the ER. They advised me to go in for a colonoscopy. I came out of the anesthesia from the colonoscopy and immediately looked over at my wife, who was in tears. In an instant, my whole world had just changed. They had found about an 8-inch tumor growing in my colon on my left side of my body. You always think there's going to be a tomorrow, and then the minute you get diagnosed with cancer, that changes your thought process instantly. Just had my 2 wonderful twin boys. All you do is think about the future and how many fun things you're going to get to do with them and teach them how to play golf and baseball, or am I going to be here for them to do that? My wife, not knowing what the future holds and having 2 young boys and 3 restaurants to look after, she knew life had just changed in that moment and it was going to get really difficult for a while.
I was a 31-year cancer survivor and things were going just great. And then Pete's stomach hurt a little bit. One morning we woke up and he was totally jaundiced, totally. And within a couple days it was discovered that Pete had pancreatic cancer. At one point we thought he'd be able to do radiation and chemotherapy and surgery, but his body was just too weak and he couldn't do it. The most difficult part of being a caregiver was knowing how sick he was. But after his 2nd chemo treatment, we went to see the oncologist, and he said, "I think it's time to start hospice." And that was a devastating blow. He was gone within 3 weeks.
They removed 10 inches of my colon, and I was in the hospital for 5 days after that. My oncologist then decided the best course for me to go for after that was 12 rounds of chemotherapy. I would sit in the chair for around 6 hours receiving my chemo treatments, and when the 6 hours were over, they would apply a pump into my port, and I would go home with that pump for 48 hours following that. So my chemo treatment actually took 3 days every time. While it's physically hard on you and mentally hard on you, it is equally mentally as hard on the people that care about you. My wife went through cancer with me as much as I did. And I'm one of the very fortunate ones that have a great system around me, and I have some of the most amazing friends you could ever hope for in the world. I think the day after I was diagnosed, our host tonight, the Rasmussens, had started a meal train for me to take some of that off my wife's plate. And I had other wonderful friends that had gone through the same thing, or in a different way, but cancer themselves. One of the things that people don't realize while you're going through this stuff is how much just a phone call or a text meant. It makes you feel like, hey, you're not in this by yourself. We're all in this together.
We're fortunate in this community that we have good hospitals, and that excellent medical care is so important. That's absolutely critical. Pete was able to stay at home, and we were able to get him to many treatments and to see the oncologist. But I know some people aren't in that situation. They may be working, not be retired. They may not have a support system close by. Their family members may not be able to be here to help them. So we're very fortunate with the American Cancer Society that we can be a part of that village.
The people that don't have that, that's who the American Cancer Society is for. That's what they're there to do. They're there to provide that support. They're there to be for the people that don't necessarily have the people to take them to their chemo treatments or sit with them while they're at chemo or financially help them through the cancer treatments that they're about to go through. Anything you can do tonight to help the American Cancer Society, help people go through this terrible disease, please do.
It takes a village. Each and every one of you here tonight is a part of a village of someone's journey with cancer.
Tonight, 100% of the paddle raise will go to supporting cancer patients right here in Colorado.
And 100% of your donated dollars is 100% tax deductible.
Your donations tell cancer patients like Brian that they are not alone, that we are all part of their village, that American Cancer Society is part of their village, and they don't have to fight alone.
Let's raise our paddle high and let's go ahead and contribute to all those affected by cancer right here in our neighborhood.
Cancer patients right here in Colorado need your help. They need your support. They need all of us. Please join us and be part of their village.